This is going to be very competitive StarCraft. Very different than our previous series. These are two guys that play a lot, that are, I don't want to say on top of their game, but I think that Fjant is in very good shape. He is incredibly motivated to play in the DreamHack Masters Yon shopping. So I have to lower these music sounds a tiny bit. They're a bit crazy high. And Demi pretty much always plays a lot. Has never really given up on the dream of trying to become one of the big Zerg boys in the foreign scene, but it's obviously hard for him playing from India. He will never have perfect ping on the European server. Playing on Asia is also a bit of a ping deficit. But I'm excited for this series. It should be fun. I don't know who is supposed to win between these two. I think Demi is on average a little higher on the ladder than Fjant is. But Fjant has recently peaked, so if he can bring some of that momentum to this best of 5, then there's a good chance he can bring it home. The nerds are ready, and if they are so eager and ready, I'm ready as well. Let's just go ahead and do it. Before we do that though, guys, I do want you guys to know that today the new set of Pokemon cards came out. And I've got two absolute beauties that I want to flex a little. First up, this bad boy. Look at it. Isn't he beautiful? I'm very happy. And then right before I started this stream, I was like, you know what? Let's open one random packy. Look at this beauty. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I'm a happy nerd today. I have an excellent spirit. We got some water. Maybe if this best of 5 is at least a 3-1, maybe a 3-2, then we'll have a drink. But not yet. The nerds, they need to deliver for me to be rewarded. Let's go ahead and hop into our second best of 5 tonight. It's 80 bucks for the winner, 20 bucks for the loser. Obviously, all of this is brought to you guys by Basilisk. Can we all get a thank you in the Basilisk in the chat? That would be very nice.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
In the bottom left side of Ancient Sistren, we are looking at the main base of the young man from Sweden. So far, the Big Brain Bouts was not very kind to him, but it's also because I don't play favorites for the Team Roddy kids. I give them tough opponents, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for the young man from Sweden yet. But 2 weeks ago, on the Monday, he had his best run ever, and that obviously deserved to be rewarded. So he gets another shot on this Friday. See it as a last chance for him before we get ready for the DreamHack Masters Yon shopping, in which this young man will be competing in the open bracket in a Team Roddy shirt. This is Fjant. I think he's very excited for the shirt, as he should, because they're pretty awesome. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who used to be part of Alpha X, but Alpha X stopped operating, but now a lot of them have joined Matcherino. So Demi, part of the new Matcherino squad. Our Indian Zerg player spawning in the red. I already said it. It's Demi. What color did he get? I think it's like bluish. You should ask Lino. Lino is the one who brought it over, but it's blue or black. Something along those lines. How do we plebs get the Team Roddy shirts? That is all arranged in the Discord, and Lino is the man in charge of that. We have a Discord, and in the Discord all of that is taken care of, or being taken care of. Lino is our smooth operator. So Demi opened up with a spawning pool, guys. So he's got a couple of links running to the bottom left side of the map. But it's not an ultra aggressive opening. We saw that the gas was a little bit later. Maybe Demi expected some early aggression from Fjant. Fjant needs to pay attention though. He could have been in trouble there. He's still not really reacting. Am I crazy, guys? Fjant? Fjant seems to be very focused on his overlord on the other side of the map and didn't notice 6 links running into his natural. Now the queen pops, but the queen is all by herself. And that is a dead queen almost guaranteed. I highly doubt that we can save this. We're gonna try. Okay, we do save it. That's actually pretty good crisis management then in the end. Still a little bit sloppy by Fjant. I think that's not the way you want to start a best of 5. Completely missing 6 links on the minimap. Could have been a whole lot worse. Both of them so far lost 2 Zerglings as Demi wins this little link skirmish, but it was 4 against 3, so I guess he's supposed to win that one. Fjant now drops a Bailing Nest, has link speed pretty much finishing up, and at that point he should be the one dictating the pace of this game. I gotta say, Demi's build is very odd to me, as he's still a 2-base Zerg. He's dropping an Evo Chamber, but he also has link speed. I feel like there's maybe an opportunity here for Demi, guys, or excuse me, for Fjant, to do something with these lings that have speed. I like this by Demi, sending the low HP queen back, making sure that it's the full HP queen that also has no energy. It's gonna soak up the shots, but instead it seems like these lings were just trying to go for the Roach Warren. Not gonna get it though. Is this just like world's biggest mind game by Demi, where he makes it seem that this is a 2-base Roach build, but then instead it's going to be a link float with +1 carapace? Is that what it is? And the Roach Warren is just a fake? Some big brain gaming over here, guys. We have a big brain emoji. Also brought to you by Basilisk. And now Demi is already sneaking at a couple drones behind this. It's going to be 32 to 36 links with +1 carapace. As Fjant is going to see it right here, right now. That's about, I think, as quick as he could have ever seen it. All of these links leaving the natural. Fjant is immediately going to go for the wall off. And it seems that he is willing to sacrifice this base. And he's now countering. This counter is actually kind of cute. Yeah, I don't really hate that. Like, just kind of accept the fact that you're losing your third. You have an economic lead. And Demi, ooh, that's a late cancel. Sweet baby Jesus. A very, very, very late cancel on the hatch. But it is good enough in the end. And now the links of Fjant can actually get a queen. So it's a cancel on the third base and a queen. While only losing 2 drones and obviously the hatchery. Maybe you can say he lost 4 drones because he let these Eva chambers finish up. I thought that after that previous series, guys, it was going to get less weird, but this is also a bit weird. As Fjante's rally was a little bit silly there and he ends up losing 2 roaches that spawned from these larvae. Could Fjant like knight us from here? Is that a play? I kind of feel like that would be a play. I don't know if it's a great play, but I think it's a play. But it's also a bit predictable. I think it was good for Fjant until he lost the 2 roaches. I think that was not supposed to happen. And obviously that does add up. And this is definitely the kind of level that 2-3 units can make all the difference. It's a very weird game so far. I did not expect it from Demi. Because I've always seen Demi as a... He's aggressive. But I thought he's pretty straight up. And this is definitely just like kind of randomly weird and cheesy. Yeah. I guess in a weird way, it worked out, right? Whatever Demi had in mind. Obviously, in a perfect world for Demi, this third hatchery was never cancelled. And then it would have already been up and running. Maybe it would have been like halfway saturated. So he would have been a lot further ahead. But I guess this kind of works. What works for Fjant, though, is that his upgrades are going to be marvelous. He's got +1 missile attacks. He's also catching up on carapace. And his +2 missile attacks is going to be a whole lot quicker. All these links from Demi, though, can get another easy counter on this hatchery, as this hatchery is super exposed. The roaches are way out of position in the center of the map. Fjant is just gonna go ahead and try to take this fight on the other side of the map, but he doesn't quite have the roach numbers for this. At least that's not... I don't think he can do this, man. I really don't think he can do this, and obviously we have to keep in mind that there is no way home for these roaches, because Demi still has a crazy amount of links left over from the early game, and these are pretty useful links. Even though with +1 missile attacks, the roaches care a little bit less about that carapace. Fjant, I think you gotta chill, mate. Fjant is playing this like he's got a big roach advantage, but I don't really see it. If anything, I see a whole lot of red and I see relatively little yellow. He's doing a good job here in the kiting, not losing more roaches than I think he's supposed to lose, so that part is nice, but that is a good volley there for Demi as all of his roaches managed to fire. Fjant is going to take this fight for a split moment there. We've got dead even upgrades. It's 1-1 on both sides. That is an unfortunate spot to morph a roach into a Ravager. Fjant is making a few too many errors. This is starting to look incredibly good for Demi, and I'm afraid that we are quite close to the 1-0 lead for the men from India. Even though the Spine Crawler and the Queen's helping out, that could allow Fjant to stabilize. We're going to have to drop some Transfuse though, but the Queens are off creep. And if the Queens are off creep, they cannot drop Transfuse, so it just took a little bit longer than it was supposed to. Now this Queen is not helping out at all. +2 missile attacks is about to kick in. If we can save this hatchery, then we still sort of have a game. Even though it looks incredibly dire for Fjant. Yeah, I don't think we can save it. I don't think we have a game either. It looks like it's going to be a 1-0 lead for the best player ever from India. Pretty impressive, guys. 1.something billion people, and no one in India is better in StarCraft than Demi. Like, I'm the best player in Zuidland, but even that is a close contest. Because Feromedic is pretty good. But, you know, I'm barely the best of my little village with 5,000 people. Meanwhile, Demi is the best out of 1.4 billion people. Take notes. If that is not inspirational, I don't know what is, guys. Demi was not quite able to close it out, because obviously defender's advantage is very real in ZVZ, especially when you're both working with the exact same units. But while Fjant was barely able to hang in there and barely able to keep that hatchery alive, he's down 12, 14 drones. If you're both spamming roaches, I don't really see how you can overcome an economic deficit like that. But perhaps we can have God the Ravager Micro, and we can drop some of the absolute sweetest corrosive balls out there. And we still have a game. At the moment, it doesn't look like we have a game. One thing is important for Demi is that he doesn't just allow Fjant to max out. Because then you will always give your opponent a chance. I've seen this as well in the past, where Fjant gets aggressive on moments, guys, where... Like, if this is fake aggression to keep Demi busy, I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't hate it, but... It always feels that he's playing it with a sense of urgency where he actually wants to go ahead and take the fight. Now he just exposes that low HP third hatchery that is actually going to fall to just 5 roaches. Sure, he's going to be able to clean these roaches up. But if we're already economically behind and we are struggling, the last thing that we can use is losing our third hatchery. As Gabe done BBB quite a few times. But the last time I invited Gabe, I love Gabe, but I was a bit disappointed. I was not really feeling the energy and the vibes. Fjant is splitting off 5 roaches as well, but it's very unlikely that these 5 roaches can accomplish anywhere near the same as the 5 roaches of Demi. For a split second there, Fjant had a great concave. But Demi wasn't born last night. He knew that that was definitely the moment to disengage. Turtle to Lurkers. I would say Turtle to maxing out, right? Because if you max out, you always have a chance. Especially if the upgrades are competitive, and they absolutely would be. Fights like this are obviously never going to be it, because even if you barely win this fight, you're losing the fight. Because your opponent can reproduce their army, and you cannot. So Fjant won't even get close to winning the fight, usually gets called. First game, bit of a weird one. Alt opening by Demi, alt follow-up by Demi. But Fjant just did not seem as on point as I think he needs to be for a series like this. And it all starts with the first 6 links, like... these guys are damn good StarCraft 2 players, so we can be a bit more critical of them. And you cannot just have an early start ZVZ and completely miss 6 links passing your 2 links. Like, then you are not focused. And if you're listening to music, you gotta turn it down or turn it off completely. If the sun is blinding you, if there is something in your line of sight, the sun is bright. Fernando. I don't know if anybody gets that reference, but close your blinds. Because the focus wasn't there from Fjant. Kiddo can do better. And he has to do better if he wants to win this best of 5. But it's obviously just one game. One game doesn't change everything. So let's go ahead and see what the nerds are made of as we hop into altitude for round 2.
Round 2. Fight!
Friday night video gaming on the Roddy stream. Brought to you guys by BASILISK. It's the 30th edition already of this event, guys. So that's 30 times 500. The Big Brain Bouts is now a tournament that has gifted over $15,000 in prize money to pro gamers. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our very own. And with our very own, I mean Team Roddy, you know, because Roddy is not loyal. He's got 2 teams. This is Team Roddy's Fjant. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who's the best Indian StarCraft 2 player of all time. Used to be part of Alpha X, now the Reynor team. This is Demi. I've played a lot of PvZ against Demi in the last 2-3 years, and I always felt that Demi does his best work in like the mid game. I think he's pretty good in early game. I think he's pretty good in being greedy, and then he's good in being very committed. Hive tech play is not something he never does, but I don't think that's really what he excels at. That's obviously often the most difficult thing in StarCraft to excel at. Unless you're Protoss and you can build carriers and disruptors, that's somewhat manageable. even for an old man like me. But of course, like moving spores, controlling queens, infestors, vipers, hydras, like that's obviously a bit more difficult. Impressive that your Pikachu is still in good shape. I mean, good shape. Good shape. Pika is a little thin. A lot of air has left his body. But we love him. And we take good care of him. And I think today, Pika sparked up a little bit. It saw all the new friends that it's got. It saw these sexy cards that I pulled. So Pika's a believer. There's a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch, but there's some Pikachu cards actually in the most recent set. They're not very prestigious, so you can easily get them. Which is nice because my brother's son only, well, he likes a couple Pokemon, but obviously Pikachu is by far and away number one. But he doesn't know the difference between a Pikachu card that's 2 cents or a Pikachu card that's 50 bucks. He just wants all of them. And now at least I've got a whole bunch of Pikachu cards to give him that are all like 2 cents each. But the kid is incredibly happy with them, so I love this set for that reason alone. Fjant is opening up with a Link Speed here. And Demi is opening up Gasless. He's now taking 2 Extractors at the same time. Drone heading towards that 6 o'clock base. Fjant playing the more normal style here. Definitely so far the more straightforward play between the two. It's just that Demi's decision making seemed to be a bit better. Micro, I would say it was somewhat even in the first game. I don't think there really was a moment where Demi out-microed Fjant or Fjant out-microed Demi. I feel like that real test still has to come in his best of 5. I really wonder where Demi's taking this. I can only assume Roach 1, Evo Chamber. And then it's either like 2 base Roach into Macro, 2 base Roach into Aggression, or it's 2 base Fire. There's obviously a small chance that that's going to happen. The one nice thing about everything that happened in the previous game is that basically Demi said, hey mate, nothing in this best of 5 is what it seems like. You scout a 2 base setup, you scout an Evo Chamber, you scout a Roach Warren, and all of a sudden it's 36 Zerglings with +1 Carapace running your way. That's a pretty annoying way to start off a best of 5. Because you're like, ah, this is going to be one of these series. So from here on out, a lot of the things that Fjant is going to scout, he's probably going to second guess himself a little bit and wonder if it's another mind game with Demi or not. Do you think it's fair to say that the Mirror is the most players' least favorite matchup? I think that is fair quite often, but definitely not always. I think for Protoss players, that is definitely very fair to say, unless your name is MaxPax. I think PvP, it depends a little, and I feel that ZVZ is actually kind of cool. And I think a lot of Zergs don't hate playing ZVZ. Also because I think they are sick and tired of playing ZVP all day. So I think it's a little bit race dependent, but for Protoss players it's pretty much almost always the case. But that's just because the ladder is incredibly overpopulated with Protoss players at the moment. So if you've got 3 hours to ladder, in those 3 hours you're going to be playing PvP for 2 hours and 20 minutes. No matter how good you are at the matchup, you're going to get tired of it. Demi's definitely doing a good job with his queens. I know, Goblin, you're doing an amazing job at that. It's definitely not Goblin's fault, guys, that we have that many Protoss players on the ladder. If you guys ever feel like, man, what is the time slot that I don't run into Goblin, don't worry, that's 24/7. And somehow he's still pretty good at the game, which is impressive, but do not fear Goblin PvP. There's a lot of things you have to worry about when you ladder, but that's not one of them. Fjant is the one running to the other side of the map with a couple of roaches, but the roach numbers of Demi are very similar. And yeah, if the numbers are this close, I feel like being aggressive is pretty much always the wrong idea. Now, there's obviously a difference between showing signs of aggression or actually being aggressive and committing to the attack. I really hope that Fjant does not plan on committing here. He should see immediately that this is not a fight you want to take. Fjant says, no, buddy, it is a fight I want to take. He's actually somehow getting an alright start here. He's actually getting the best a little bit of Demi here for a split second, but I think defender's advantage is too strong. Queens are too tanky. Queens have DPS that doesn't really add up. Fjant, now just go home and morph these 3 low HP roaches into Ravages, man. It's the problem with these youngsters. They just always want to attack. It's what I had as well, and it basically never really left my spirit. But there is a time and a place to be aggressive. But if the game has been so damn stable and even, and you're basically doing the exact same thing, I don't think that this is really the moment to go for it. Now, that Ling run by is awesome, though. If there is one way to make some chaos happen here, it's obviously by running a couple of Lings into the main base. Because Fjant is the one with Ling speed. Demi does not have Ling speed. This is a fight that you obviously need to disengage from. I gotta say, I think Demi is handling this quite well. We did not see many drones falling. Only a single drone so far, even. 2 drones in the end. Overall, I think very solid defense by the man from India. This would have gone better, I think, if Fjant would have been a little less committed to this fight. And then I think the idea is good of trying to get some value out of the fact that you're the one who invested in Zergling speed. You've got the quicker units, trying to spread your opponent thin. But just taking the fight straight up while your opponent has immediate reinforcements and you don't, that's a bit questionable. Goat Live birthday queen in the chat, guys. It's Coco's birthday. Coco, I can only imagine we're doing a 48-hour party stream. Guitar, karaoke, shots. Is it happening tonight? Are we raiding Coco at midnight? Got a couple of spines going up, by the way, for Demi. Seems to be pretty concerned about the idea of roaches, tunneling claws, and aggression all over the place. Does have a big old arm. No, Fjant, you need to be careful. This is a big old army from Demi. And since Fjant is actually obviously doing a great job in running roaches into the main base, into the natural, now we just need to run. Fjant needs to just run for the hills and let these roaches do their thing. And every second that goes by is a good one for you, mate. Because you are going to fight with defender's advantage. Supply block is obviously very painful. I don't think Fjant should be taking this fight. I really don't think he should be taking this fight. As Contaminate has been used as well. Fjant, mate, you've done so much economic damage. Just chill. Run deep into your natural. Fight with the drones for all I care. Your opponent is ultra committed. Ultra all in. Oh my goodness. Meine Fresse. The corrosive balls there of Demi are absolute jackpot shots. And now Demi's just going to gun down the roach one. Don't think Fjant can do it. He's got 14 roaches on the way. And obviously he does have Ling speed. He has killed 40 drones on the other side of the map. But I don't know if he can clean up this army. If all the roaches can fight together at the same time with the drones as well as one queen with a lot of energy, this is it. It's do or die. Can Fjant clean this up one time and one time only? It's starting to get a little bit closer. We're pulling drones away from the third base as well. I think Demi's army is just too big. Demi's army is just too big. Those corrosive balls were absolutely monstrous. And Fjant on 4 bases in such a big economic lead takes a bad game-deciding fight, as Big Gabe likes to call it. He did so many things right, guys, but then taking this fight here and then being bottled up here, like, just run back. Let your Evos die, who cares? Let your Roachborn die initially, who cares? Like, you wait. You've done your damage, and then you wait. I was wondering... No. There is nothing. There is nothing that he can do anymore. Well, he could have just ran through the wall off, and then I don't think that the wall off would really work against him. Like, I want to show you guys these corrosive ball shots one more time before we hop into the next game. Because those were very painful. Like, trying to take this fight for a split second, having all your roaches in the concave ravages behind it, that is not the worst call. But once you see that your opponent is powering through, like, right now you just right click here. You literally just right click your entire army. You don't try to fight here, you right click here. And by turning around and trying to fire again, like, look at these ravager shots, guys, of Demi. This is insane. You don't see Ravager shots like that very often in Roach vs. Roach and Ravager vs. Ravager. That's too much. That's obviously not supposed to happen. He wanted to move back, but his own queen blocked him out. Yeah, the queen was indeed blocking for a split second. So yeah, maybe that was just pure panic. And then he's like, oh no, I'm blocked or I can't get in. So I turn around and fight. But he definitely clicked forward a little bit. And he fought for longer than he was supposed to fight. Ah. That's a shame. That is a shame, as we now have a 2-0 lead for Demi, as we are only 10 minutes past 7. If this is Big Brain Bouts done quick, I'm signing out. I don't want this. I feel like Fjant had very good chances in both games to make something out of it, and this could have honestly been a 2-0 lead for the man from Sweden. Instead, it's an 0-2 deficit, and that's obviously going to stress him out a little bit. Let's see if the young man can keep it together and turn things around in Game 3.
Round 3. Fight!
In the top left side of Gresvan, the youngster, the Big Brain Bouts have not been kind to him, or perhaps it's Roddy who's not kind to him, because I do give him difficult opponents, but that's what makes him better, and I do believe that he has the level to compete with these guys. Let's hope that it works out here in Game 3. This is Team Roddy's Fjant. Woohoo! Clap, clap, clap. Sweariga. Clap, clap, clap. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who hasn't played for a while on the Friday night, but he's always reliable and he's always down to party. It's the best Indian StarCraft 2 player of all time, representing the new Maturino squad. This is Demi. With another tricky opening here, guys. Or at least, potentially tricky, potentially dirty, and cheeky. It is gas into pool. Into an expand? Where is he gonna take this? There's a good chance that we're just gonna see a lot of early link bane aggression coming out of Demi in this game. Maybe he feels that he can make the difference there. Yeah, we do kind of need a Game 5. But if I've learned one thing over the last few weeks in the BBB, is that it doesn't really matter, in a weird way, what happens in the first series or in the second series. Because last week we had an insane third match of the day between DNS and Vanya, Reddita, Wayne. Honestly, that was one of my all-time favorite series on the Friday night. And then that main event between Trigger and SKillous, to me, was also 10 out of 10. I know not everyone loves PvP, but I think stylistically those two are made for each other. And I think we can do that every single Friday. And I think it's pretty much always going to be very exciting between SKillous and Trigger. Also, after today, and I hope nobody's going to have a meltdown over this spoiler alert, but at this point, guys, Basilisk is the only undefeated team in the WTL Codas. As the boys from Onside, they fell to Dragon Kaisi Gaming. We already played those guys and we won. Our undefeated journey will continue on Monday, where I will be playing for the first time this season. So that probably means that our undefeated streak is gonna end. No, I'm gonna do my best, and I think I'm feeling all right about it. I think I can do well. I'm aiming for a draw. You know, we go for a draw, and if we win, then we're absolutely cooking and buzzing, and we're gonna have a big old party. But with a draw, I would already be very happy. Yes, I'm playing against Nice. I am playing versus Nice. SSLT is the team. Chem is playing against Reynor. Joliwa Loves is playing against Serral, and I'm playing Nice. As Fjant is losing a couple of his links here, as he obviously was maybe not aware of the fact that Demi had super quick link speed. At least he didn't take a third base yet. One drone is on the other side of the wall up. That's a bit painful. Demi is just going all out for... Well, not quite all out for baning bust, but obviously seems pretty serious about this. And there is a gap. These banings are not going for it. The lair follow-up, I think, is kind of cool. Fjant is droning right now. He doesn't seem to be ultra concerned about this. Fjant, you need to be so careful if you run into these banings. It could be game over. And that would be a very sad best of 5. We don't want that. It is a bit of a dire scenario, obviously, to play ZVZ. And you see weird openings. You're down 0-2. It's hard to fight that little voice in the back of your head. Like, oh no, here we go again. Especially if the other series didn't work out. Are you practicing for it? Yeah, of course. I would never tell the boys that I'm down to play if I wouldn't practice or I wouldn't do my best. I will do whatever I can to be the best version of myself on Monday afternoon. If that is going to be good enough to defeat Nice, that I don't know. The ladder results lately have been dramatic, but there is a very big difference between me playing ladder and chilling and not playing my best builds, or me tryharding. Nice is obviously a better player than me, but we'll see. We will see. I am excited. I know that the folks over at Basilisk are excited for it. Serral said he believes in the 6-0. I don't know about that. That put a lot of pressure on me. I started sweating when I read that. I was like, Yona, how good do you think I am? I'm really not that good, but I'm just excited for it. So Demi had a quick lair, guys. It's a very quick lair after some Ling Bane aggression, but it was more like a fake aggression, right? Because obviously he didn't donate any Lings. He didn't throw away the Banelings. So this Spire is damn quick. Fjant does not have a lair yet. Does fire it up. Well, it's on the way, but definitely doesn't have it yet. And even if that lair finishes up, like, what do you even do then? I feel like it's way too late to drop your own Spire. I do think that Fjant can absolutely expect Spire here, because obviously he knows that his third hatchery is so much quicker than the one of Demi. Well, Demi is the one who could have expanded quicker, since he was the one with all the map control and Fjant was defending on 2 bases. That pretty much can only mean 2 things. Either it's a very early night as in your main with roaches, and if that doesn't happen, well, then it's going to be Spire. Fjant seems to think that he can go Spire, and this might be one of these bizarre scenarios where we get Corruptor against Muda. I have no idea where Fjant's Lings are going, but they're not here. Fjant feels that he can defend this hatchery without his Lings, and you know what? He's damn right. And that means that maybe these Lings can actually keep the BASILISK busy for a little while. I would not fight the Spine Crawl. I would fight literally everything besides the Spine. This is actually a pretty cool counterattack by Fjant. Insane call, man. Because there were a lot of Lings running towards his third base, grabbing 5 drones so far. Lings in the main base still going strong-ish. We need Spore Crawlers though, mate. He's building just more Lings. He's got +1 melee. Fjant's idea to keep Demi's Mudas at home is just to spam as many Lings as possible and make sure that the Mudas stay defensive. That may actually work out. Wow, building 6 drones here. I feel like that's kind of crazy. But I like crazy. Did all of our Banelings get picked off? All but 2. So the Banelings got found in the center of the map by the Mudas. Now, Fjant, his Spire is done. Demi is going for a +1 flyer attacks. I think 4 queens here, that's not quite enough. But 4 queens with 2-3 Mudas, that should be enough. Losing all these overlords is painful. Third base, I want to say it's somewhat wide open as these +1 melee Lings of Fjant are looking for a way to get in. Demi has plenty of Lings here. Even if you have +1, not really a fight you want to take. Fjant needs overlords, guys. That is what he needs. It's 11 against 6 Mudas at the moment. But Fjant has the upgrade on the ground. That is something maybe he can do something with. Demi is also working on +1 melee. There's a pretty significant drone advantage on the side of the Indian Zerg. But maybe all these Banelings. I only see 1 Baneling here for Demi. Demi's gonna not just lose a lot of Lings, but he should lose a couple of drones as well. And Larva. Yeah. Oh. Hat-trick. We love to see it.
Hat-trick.
We like to cheer for the underdog, guys. The man is down 0-2. We gotta cheer for him a little. 7 extra Mudas on the way, and that's gonna make these numbers awfully close. And then with a little bit of Queen support, or maybe just a couple of Lings on the ground to soak up the bouncing glaive. One of the strangest things to explain to people is that having Lings is very good in a Muda against Muda fight. Because the Lings on the ground, they can actually soak up those bouncing glaives. And in Mudalisk against Mudalisk, having Carapace is a lot better for your Mudas than having Flyer attack. But that's actually Carapace for the Zerglings, eh? I would have liked to see it for the Flyers, but it's a whole lot of Lings with 1-1. The Lings of Fjant are honestly doing a tremendous job in this game. The counterattacks have been relentless. The supply blocks have been painful, but we've got 9 Elaser Overlords on the way at once. I hope Elaser's not listening yet. I hope to see a couple of Elaser Overlords later tonight. I'm starting to believe, guys. I am becoming a bit of a believer. As Fjant's Link counters are just excellent. They're honestly excellent. Fjant is actually going for +1 flyer attacks now. Well, I really thought that... First, guys, I confuse these emotes sometimes. I mean, they kind of look somewhat similar, right? So Fjant has 1-1 on the links. That's awesome. But being down an upgrade in Muda versus Muda, that's a whole lot less awesome. He's also still down 5 Mudas. And also down 13 drones. I feel like the link movement has been great. Some of the counterattacks, the run-bys, they've been quite alright. But we need to drone up. We need to make sure that we're not supply blocked while we do those things. Otherwise, all of our hard efforts will just go up in vain. Can we get mirror numbers? Yeah, it's 25 in favor of Demi, 25 to 20. And don't forget that Demi also has the +1 flyer attacks, is working on +1 carapace. Fjant has dropped an invitation pit though, guys. And sometimes, they say, one fungo is all it takes. Falling in love with you. Possibilities. Or we go Vipers for parasitic bombs. Like, I feel like this is always a moment where you at least want to get like 2 or 3 safety infestors. And I know that that costs a lot of gas. But there is no way that Demi is comfortable taking a fight on your side of the map, on creep, in range of queens, in range of a spore crawler, if you have the possibility to land a fungal or 2. He will just not do that. Now it seems that Demi overall is a bit afraid to move out. We obviously have access to the worker tabs, and we know that Demi had a numbers advantage. We know that Demi was mining more, but maybe in Demi's mind, Fjant did a much better job in droning up, and he took too much damage at home, so he's too afraid. Yeah, but being down 20 drones, if you got hive tech, is definitely not a problem. I'll tell you that much. I much rather have 20 drones less and 3 Vipers than have 20 drones more and no Vipers. Baning run by. Slow Bane run by. But even, no! At least use them on something, mate. "30 against 34, but we got 3 Vipers out on the map. This is, oh my goodness, do we have any links? Yeah, 33 links. There are only 2 defensive banelings, but with the spore crawlers and with the queens, I do want to believe that Fjant is fine here. I would not put those queens so on the edge of creep all by themselves. I would stay on top of my mutas as well. You don't want to fight right now if you're Fjant, guys. You absolutely do not want to fight. Just let this base die for all I care. You have 3 Vipers on the way. Wait for your Vipers at this point. Get your parasitic bomb energy. You're counterattacking as well. Letting that base die is 100% the correct call. And here are the Vipers. Do they have energy for parasitic bomb? We're getting close, guys. We are getting close. We are getting so close that we will absolutely see some parabombs. And these links, they should be able to kill a whole bunch of drones as well. It's another very solid counterattack by Fjant. And now I actually think that Demi is the one who's in a bit of a pickle. Because that hive has just started. Fjant gets the scout right now, guys. Such a big scout for these links. Because at this point... Oh, okay. So it's Demi who's got the Lewis Hamilton amount of mutas. It's 44 mutas against 30. But the 30 Mutalisk are backed up by not 1, not 2, but 3 Vipers. And this is fun. A 14 muta advantage or 3 parasitic bombs. What do you guys prefer? Or all-out counterattack. That's kind of interesting. But you can't forget there are some spore crawlers too. Fjant is now aware of the fact, I think, that a counterattack is happening. He's gonna see it now at least. Queens are in the choke point. The queens are going to fall. This is craziness. All hell is about to break loose here. Demi obviously will be able to get his own Vipers out too. That Spire, by the way, is exposed. And this is so many mutas. But can the mutas ever survive? Baning Nest goes down. Queens go down. A bunch of drones go down. Demi lost 36 drones. Here come the Mutalisk of Fjant. Muta-wise, he's not going to win. But it's all about these 3 bad boys with their purple energy bars. Parasitic bomb! We've got him cornered. It's 44 mutas against 33. But for how much longer will those be the numbers that we are looking at? Fjant says nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You're going to go ahead and take this fight, my friend. And then he's like, no, sir, I really do not want to take this fight. As we've got 3 Vipers. Ooh, that's definitely a lot of mutas going down. But he avoided the parasitic bomb crisis scenario. We lost 9 mutas, but at least we avoided the Vipers. I don't think we're quite done losing mutas yet. Are we ever turning around and fighting? Demi's just waiting. Demi says, alright, I am only ever taking this fight if I get my own Vipers. He did not kill that Spire, by the way, guys. Fjant needs to drop creep. We'll keep an eye on that Spire, because that creep is gone from the natural. The hatchery has died, creep has disappeared. And that means that slowly but steady, this Spire is bleeding out. Fjant firing up Adrenal Glands right now is absolute bananas to me, but Demi is doing the same. It's a sick upgrade. Do we have any... Oh my goodness, Fjant only has 8 links, guys. Fjant only has 8 links. He's about to lose the hatchery. He needs to cancel. Does not cancel, and he's already broke. I mean, we have gas for days. Yeah, I don't know about these ultras. I am very confused about this. Now the Muda numbers, it's 39 against 40. Both players have 3 Vipers with energy. Fjant and his Ultralisk Cavern gives me the feeling it's like, 5 base Zerg, 3-3 on the ground units, right? We're gonna get guidance plating, and these Ultras are cooking. I guess Ultras can soak up a lot of the bouncing glaives of the Mudas, but I feel like we're getting a little carried away there. But I guess guidance plating is very sick to tank. I think for a moment Fjant was winning, but now I think Demi is winning again. But obviously it's impossible to call a game like this because it comes down to who loses 20 Mutalisk against Parasitic Bomb. Which, if you have a bad computer, guys, is absolutely inevitable. I assume that these nerds have decent computers, and I may hope that they're not lagging. And we're gonna see who can cosplay like the great Jonas Vitala and actually split 40 Mutas against the Barrel Bomb. I know I couldn't. I could not pull off that cosplay. And that's not because my belly is way too big to fit into the outfit of Yona. That's just because it takes me 12 seconds to figure out which unit is being affected by Barrel Bomb. And by the time I see it, that's the second hatchery in a row, Fjanty boy. Oh, Vipers. Aye. No, yes, no. Oh. Ah, what's happening? Demi splitting it up, and 1 Barrel Bomb has landed. Good split by Fjant. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. I didn't see it, and Fjant didn't see it either. That's a lot of damage, guys. That is a lot of damage. Fjant lost a hatchery during all of this. Loses 5 drones as well. Has not been able to land his own Parabomb. At least he didn't lose the Mutas. But if another Parabomb goes off now, he's about to lose all of them at once. 108 army supply against 124. At least game 3 here is delivering. It's giving us a fun one. These Ultras, guys, do not have kindness plating. So we got 2 Ultras. Cute. Nice. But they do not have kindness plating. Now Demi's like, oh no, you got Ultras? I want the Ultras too. Fjant has 23 drones. He's got 2200 gas. He's got a spawning pool and 22 HP. I don't know about you, but the spawning pool is 22. Why don't we get kindness plating? If we want Ultras that badly, we need that upgrade. Demi has another link counterattack as a couple of Banelings, guys. 4 Banelings roll into the third. They kill 16 drones, but a couple of links with Adreno and +2 melee snipe the third base. So both players finding more economic damage. Demi has a 12 Muta advantage. He too forgot to find the cancel button. Oh. Parabomb! First Parabomb is good. Second one goes off rather quickly. This is it. Fjant should just run away. I think Fjant should just run away and now turn around and fight. What a fight! He did lose all the Vipers though, and that is a problem. I mean, that was kind of decent, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been and should have been. Probably not worth losing 3 Vipers for. That was not worth losing 3 Vipers for. I also want to point out that now the guy that has no Ultras is getting kindness plating, while the guy with Ultras does not have it. At least we still have the hype and we've got gas for days. Please build some Vipers, Fjant. I know we're broke, mate. I know we're collecting pennies over here. But we need Vipers. We cannot in any world win this game against the Viper. Oh my goodness. He's gonna try. No, I don't like it. Make it stop, mommy. Fjant! You have 2600 gas. Please make some Vipers. I know they cost minerals too, guys, but we're making links, and I don't want to see links. Muta numbers are 43 against a 38. Oh, I know he's very broke. Don't get me wrong, guys, but the amount of impact that 1 or 2 Vipers can have here is crazy, and I just don't see what a few links can accomplish. Cool Ultra skin, by the way. That is a sexy Ultra. I want to get a statue of that Ultra. Yeah, good luck fighting Muta. We cannot do this. No, it's over. In no universe, guys, can you win a Muda against Muda fight where the other guy has 3 Vipers and a whole bunch of parasitic bombs and you've got 0. All the Mudas disappear. Fjant lost the Vipers, couldn't capitalize on the fight with Para bombs, and Demi finds the finishing blow. It will be a clean sweep, back-to-back 3-0s. Roddy has a sunstroke, guys. That's just what it is over here. GG, well played gets called, and it's the man from India, Demi, who gets another W on the Friday night. He is the winner of our second best of 5, and he is the one who walks away with $80. Fjant will get $20 for playing the best of 5, and will hopefully have learned a thing or two to get ready for his adventure in DreamHack Masters Yacht Shopping Open Bracket, because that is where we will see him next. And that's obviously going to be a lot of fun. That will be a great experience for the young kid. I hope he's not too devastated about this one. It felt that there was potential in all 3 games. In the first game, definitely in the second game, and in the third game as well. It wasn't a bad trio. It was a fun trio with some entertaining moments and hard to call fights. But maybe that's just like the lack of experience that Fjant still has. And Demi, he's been around the block. I've even hung out with him in Korea once, and he qualified for the Olympic event to represent India. So maybe that's a bit of the experience shining through. Demi knowing what he has to do in certain moments, and Fjant still lacking that. But all good. Fun series overall. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. As we got 10 more subbies. And one of them goes to goddamn Twitch. I'm sure that Twitch is very happy with your username. Or it's goddamn Twitch. That's possible as well, but I don't know if you were going for that. Thank you so much to Basilisk for A, allowing me to run this event every single Friday, and B, for giving some subbies to the channel. This is also kind of important, guys, that I can do my thing. 49% of you guys thought Fjant was going to win. 51% of you guys thought that Demi was going to win. Well, 51% of you guys are correct. 53 apparently it was. 53-47. That means that we can get ready for our next series. And this one is, I think, fun. It's pretty near and dear to my heart. 2 guys that we are very familiar with. One of them has not played in the Big Brain Bouts for a very long time. The other one spams me 3 times a week to play. And I do love supporting the youngsters from Ukraine, so I don't really mind it. But yesterday, we caught him, guys. We caught Night Phoenix playing ladder on a 5,200 MMR account. And that is into okay, as they would say in Sweden. We do not like that. We do not approve of that. And he can see this as a yellow card. I know he wants to play every single week. He gets another chance here. But there are rules. That is not okay. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, guys, and take a little break. We're going to grab some water and relax a little bit for a couple minutes. And after that, we'll be back with Night Phoenix, our Ukrainian Protoss, duking it out with our forgotten son, who has managed to find the StarCraft 2 symbol on his desktop today, and I'm very proud of him for that. Now, if you guys wonder, Roddy, why is Goblin playing? If you say that he's not playing all that much, it's a bit of a meme. I do think Goblin is playing a decent amount. It's just, it's been going on for 3-4 years straight. Goblin is just not a grinder. It's just, it's not in him anymore. He picks his spots, but we did see him play in the WTL Code S against Reynor, and he honestly played a very impressive best of 2. He didn't win. Reynor won, but Goblin actually looked really good. And then in the Team Roddy Discord, the kids were memeing, and Cuckoo said that he thinks Goblin deserves a shot after that great showing. And I was like, all right, who am I to disagree? So you guys have 10 minutes to get your predictions in. Ukraine, Protoss, and Croatia. P. Level here is around 6,200 MMR. Sometimes a bit higher, sometimes a bit lower. Someone please explain why is it forbidden to ladder before BBB? No, it's absolutely not forbidden. What is, I wouldn't say forbidden, but definitely frowned upon is playing ladder 1,000 or 1,100 MMR below your level. That's really not good for the scene. That's not good for the community. And I don't want to support that. And if these kids want to play in my event every single Friday to win some money, they got to stop smurfing, because that's just not okay. You're really ruining the ladder experience for a lot of other casuals out there. People doing their best to get an MMR record. And if you just take 30, 40 points of them while you're actually a pro gamer, you're one of the better Protosses in Europe, like that's just not cool. So we're going to go ahead and take a tiny break. And after that, we'll be back with a PvP speedrunning today, guys. 20 minutes ahead of schedule. And now we've got a PvP. But sometimes those go to distance. So we'll take a tiny break. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Croatia versus Ukraine. Goblin versus Night Phoenix coming up.